Good morning. We're speaking to Teacher Yan, who is the principal and director at Summer Academy Kindergarten. Good morning, Teacher Yan. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
Good morning, Belle. Good morning, Gide.
Morning.
Morning.
Now, schools, kindergarten, preschools are reopening July 1st. How is it that the school is reassuring parents that it is now safe to send their young children back to school?
Well, I think the MOE has done a good job, setting the SOP. And what we have done with it, actually, we made it into a video SOP. So it's very visual for the kids and the parents. So the kids are enticed actually to go back to school. And furthermore, we actually, put an SOP together based on the MOE's SOP to make it into pictures. So it's very clear, what steps to do and what steps to follow.
Did you get all your teachers to go through a COVID test?
Yes, it's actually necessary. Actually, we're waiting for that. But the kakaks have been to the COVID test to make sure, the food preparation and so forth and so on will be done safely.
Okay. So everybody, even the teachers and the kakaks have also done the COVID test?
We were waiting for the teachers to actually go in, actually. We actually registered already, so we're waiting for the go call, actually.
Ah, okay. So you have to register first? I thought you can just go to any clinic.
Send them over there.
So we have registered, for school. So we're waiting actually for the directive from the MOE, when we can actually go for testing.
Oh, okay. So the MOE will have to tell you when and where to go for testing.
Yeah, initially it was, compulsory, and now they say like perhaps yes, perhaps no. So we're waiting for the directives actually.
But what about you? What do you feel? Do you feel it's safer and better that everyone gets a test?
I think so, actually. Just to be on the safe side.
Yeah. Now tell us about the SOPs in place at your school to ensure the kids' safety.
So we put markers, 1 meter distance markers. So when the parents and the kids are coming in, we measure the temperature of the child. So no adults are actually allowed to enter the school. Now, once they're in, we disinfect the kids' clothes, and then they wash their hands. After washing their hands, take off the shoes, disinfect their feet before entering the school. So we have actually placed extra sinks outside the school so they can wash their hands. So we've installed actually extra sinks as well in the classroom. So there's minimum movement, around the school so they can wash their hands inside the school as well in the classroom.
How do you disinfect their clothes and their feet? Like, is it a safe disinfectant that you're using?
So it's something that, one of the parents and in one of our branches actually recommended is child safe. It's actually a mist.
Okay.
So it's not in the SOP, but we find it's important for, to put that in our SOP.
Also, this was like one of those where they walk through and then the mist covers them and then they get disinfected.
We are not that sophisticated.
It's just like a little spray, right?
Okay.
It's also spray, yeah. It's a hand spray, actually.
But the temperature gauges, I mean, the what do you call it? The thermometers?
Yeah, has to be, non-contact thermometer. So we've looked for the best, and we found the best, and very durable and very, very sturdy, actually.
How about within the classroom? How do you maintain social distancing, especially since they're such young kids? Some of them won't listen to you, right? You ask them to stay in the box, they probably won't stay in the box for too long.
Yeah. So that's why we have to create games around it as well, Belle. So it's, we're dealing with young kids. So everything what you do, you have to make it really fun. You see, bear in mind that kids are going back to school and not going back to prison.
It's true. It's true.
Yes, a lot of safety measures have been put in place, but we also have to think of the well-being of the kids. They're going back to school, they're going to see the friends, they're going to see the teachers. Yes, there are rules as well, like normal rules that we have in our school. So we have to just reinforce in a fun way for the kids, and also tell the story about, what are the implications of, these rules. What's the importance of actually keeping distance? 1 meter distance. Why 1 meter? Why not 2 meters? Why not 10 meters?
Actually, so why not 2 meters and 10 meters? I mean, because number one, there's a lack of space, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So like, in one of our schools, we have, inbuilt cupboards. We actually took it away to create more space within the classroom. We even put UV lights. So once the kids are going home and the teachers are home, we put on the UV light to disinfect actually the classroom.
Wow.
Wow.
That's awesome. Because
And
that's like going above and beyond, actually.
Yeah, just to be on the safe side, And we actually bought air purifiers for all the classrooms, to just have an extra safety measure, So you cannot be safe enough. So we put a lot of thoughts to it, and we put all these, steps into place to make sure it's safe for the kids and it's safe for the teachers.
Speaking of teachers, has the method of teaching changed post MCO? I know teachers were giving online classes as well, right, during the MCO period.
Yeah. So we had a meeting about it, and we actually later on I'm going to the schools as well, to have a meeting. The classes should be as fun as possible. Well, that part should never change. You should always engage with the kids. Make the kids feel at home. Like in the Netherlands, how they actually receive the kids once the school reopened. It feels like a party. And it should be a party. It should not be something that's depressing, not something that's, they're not looking forward to go.
Tell us about, I know you are half Dutch. So tell us about the Netherlands. The kindergartens there have been open for a while?
Yeah. So there's no social distancing there amongst the kids.
Oh, okay.
So only between teachers and the kids. There's still some, safety distance. But amongst the kids, the first 2 weeks, they look at it, how does it go? But there's no contamination amongst the kids. So 0 cases amongst the kids. So the kids are okay to actually socialize together.
But how do teachers teach? I mean, like, I remember going to kindergarten and the teachers would encourage you, and then they would pat you on the back and everything. Now you're not even supposed to touch you anymore, though. So there's no touching at all by the teachers.
And teachers have to wear a mask in class?
Yeah.
So how will that change the way a teacher teaches?
And the kids learn as well.
Yeah. So we've done mock classes actually amongst the teachers, how to teach with a mask, how to teach with a face shield. So far the mask is actually a better option.
Okay.
So we've done mock classes, like how does it go in the class? So the teachers were the students, and we took turns actually to teach, to teach how it goes. So there's a lot of logistics involved nowadays. Once the school reopen, which class will go out first, which class will go in first. How is actually the routine, of going in and of going out of the school. So we have to take that into consideration as well.
Yeah, but let's think about it. Kindergarteners, 6 years old and below, they're very, very young kids. Yeah. How do you tell them or make them understand about the importance of following these safety measures? For them, it's like, you can play a game with them and they'll forget about it, and then they won't follow the rules anymore.
So that's why, Belle, the words that you're using are very important. Like in our school, we don't say don't run. We use, we say walking feet. Because if you say don't run, what do you think the kids will hear? Run. So they start running.
Okay.
So here, you have to tell the whole story. You have to be very clear and honest to the kids. And I mean, sometimes we underestimate the kids' ability. But kids understand a lot of things. Like my younger son, he's 4. He used to touch everything. And then actually we told him a story, and now actually he's touching things with his elbow. Because he knows the importance of staying safe. Not for yourself only, but also for others.
Yeah.
But in your son's case, did you tell him like, oh, let's play a game, everything must be done with the elbow? Or did you tell him like, oh, it's dangerous to use your hands because you might, how was it a game, or did you tell him about the dangers of it?
Not the dangers, the implications actually. If you say the dangers, it's like a doom scenario, isn't it?
Right.
If you do this, then this will happen. If you do this, then this will happen, Right. It's quite scary for kids. So, we put into a game, we actually tell a story, and we do a dance. You see, there's a lot of things you can do to let the kids understand what are the implications of certain actions.
Okay. Now, as a parent yourself, are you worried? Like, let's say schools are reopening tomorrow. Will you just send your kids tomorrow? Are
Absolutely.
you worried at all?
No, I'm not worried, Belle. I mean, the kids have been cooped up at home for how many months,
Yeah.
And it's not good for their, mental well-being, honestly speaking. They need to be, to go back to their friends. They need to socialize. Yes, they've learned a lot, through Google, Classroom or Zoom classes, but they need the interaction with their friends.
How can we as parents help our children to go back to school and follow these SOPs, Like you said, you taught your son to press everything with the elbow. How can I teach my 4-year-old to press things with his elbow? Because right now he only knows there's coronavirus out there and I cannot go out of the house. That's all he knows.
Yeah. But also tell the whole story, Belle. That's what we have been telling our sons
How
as well.
honest? Yeah, how honest can we be with the young kids?
Death, or is that too much?
And not to that extreme, actually.
Right. Okay.
Tell the story about this what's going on with with the COVID. It started in China and then it moved. So how can we stop this? So we can actually contribute to stopping this whole COVID thing. So they have to realize they're contributing as well.
But they're 4 years old and stuff, though. Will they understand that concept?
Well, my son is 4 years old, Jide, so he understands quite well, actually. Even putting on the mask in the beginning was a bit challenging, honestly speaking. But once we told him, the implications, why we have to wear a mask, then he understood, and now he's waiting for me to take his mask off.
Oh, so he doesn't take it off himself, yeah.
No. He waits. He said, like, okay, Papa, can I take it off? I said, of course. Then I will take it off for him. So it's a matter of creating a certain routine, not by creating scary stories, but tell the honest truth. No, not scaring them. There's something we never believe in, actually. In our school as well, we want to actually create positive environment. Well, we want to encourage the kids, empower the kids. Instead of saying don't do this, we will say, okay, what is better option to do? Shall we do this or shall we do this?
Okay, I get it.
So give them the option.
Yes, then you empower them. They have actually a part of their choice. They're making choices by themselves. They're part of the whole process, actually. Instead of just imposing certain rules and just follow the rules. That will never work.
Do the kids have to wear masks in school as well, within the school compound?
According to SOP, parents are encouraged for the kids to wear a mask. Parents should encourage the kids to wear a mask. That's in the SOP. But we actually will tell the kids, please wear a mask for your own safety.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, for parents who are still a bit skeptical and a bit worried about sending their young kids back to school, do you give them an option of not going to school but still being able to learn from home?
Yeah. So we have actually what we have done, actually, Belle. We have the real classes, face-to-face classes. We also have the option to have the Zoom classes and the Google Classroom classes still.
Okay.
And on top of that, actually, we if a lot of kids are coming in, we have 6 days school, 6 school days actually.
Oh.
So but we divide actually the group into 2 to keep the numbers low. So even then, the teachers have to work on Saturdays as well.
How many students to one class?
As minimum as possible. So whatever fits actually in a class according to the 1 meter distance. So it can be 6 kids, can be 7 kids, can be 8 kids.
Oh, it all depends on the dimensions of how much space you have anyway in the classroom.
Yes.
So the teachers will have to work at school and for online class as well, or are you splitting the shifts up?
They're doing both, actually, Belle.
Oh.
So there's more workload for the teachers as well. So we have to appreciate and respect them for that as well.
I was wondering about that, actually, because we've been talking about online learning and going back to school and whatnot, and how sometimes online learning, it's not exactly like going to school and you're learning. Are they learning less online compared to when they're actually back in class?
It's a different type of learning, actually. And what is lacking in online learning is the peer learning part. You can have Zoom meetings like Zoom classes, but the peer learning is so important, and that's missing actually in the on-learning classes, actually.
From friends.
Yeah.
And if you sit in on my 3.5-year-old's online class, he cannot sit still.
Right.
He'll be running around, rolling on the floor, going and get his toys and all that. It's very hard to get him to concentrate on the screen, on what the teacher is teaching.
That's why about like in our school, we actually make instructional videos. We make games, we make quizzes. You see, to get the kids to be involved in the classes actually.
Mm-mm.
And actually to create online classes, you know, in our school, it takes a couple of days to actually create that instructional videos. It actually is more work.
Mm.
It's not like, you know, I'm teaching, you know, I have some papers and I'm teaching. No, we have to make it very visual, very auditory, you know. So we make a lot of fun movies for the kids ourselves actually. We make quizzes, you know, we make very engaging for the kids.
This, I guess this whole entire MCO period has also pushed you and your teachers out of your comfort zones, and I guess the teachers picked up new skills as well, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's why we have, regular meetings, Zoom meetings with the teachers, where we share actually best practice. Now, what works actually in the Zoom classes? What works in the Google Classroom? How can we make, you know, the instructions very clear for the kids? You know, it's not just sending worksheets. You know, that's not what I mean. You know, with e-learning, and how do you make it very engaging for the kids so they actually want to do the work?
Yeah, but now that you have this e-learning capacity,
Yeah.
are you going to continue it post MCO even when schools reopen and like all the kids are back at school? Do you plan to continue it?
To a certain extent, yes, Belle, but not to, you know, as elaborate as what we've done so far.
Mm-mm.
Because, you know, we want to encourage the kids to go back to school, you know, to have the one-to-one, interaction with the other kids, with the teachers. You know, there's something that goes beyond actually e-learning.
Actually, that's true. Even for us, we were craving this
adult interaction for me anyways,
this
because
conversation.
we were working from home for the past 3 months as well, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's something new. We never knew that we can record radio shows from home, you know, but it's a learning curve, but at the same time we crave the actual interaction between the two of us.
But I also agree with you on keeping kids interested, because sometimes we forget that kids are like us as well. Because I went on some webinar, and I tried. I couldn't stay focused because it was so boring. It was just words. The guy was just constantly talking. There were no other pictures, no activity. So I think I understand where the kids come from, because I'm like a kid as well, right?
Absolutely, isn't it? So that's why, you know, it's good that we have the tools now to have to do e-learning, but nothing beats actually face-to-face learning.
Correct.
You know,
Is that why Summer Academy School Management decided that it was time to open as soon as you were allowed to?
Yeah, because the thing is, Bill, we've been preparing a lot of things. You know, we've been thinking about how to create a safe environment for the teachers and for the kids. So we've been working on it for a long time already. So the moment they say like, okay, we can open, we were ready actually. So, you know, we were not caught by surprise, basically.
Yeah.
So we look into, you know, what's happening in Holland. We also look what's happening in Hong Kong. We also look what's happening in Australia and learn from, you know, from those schools as well. What are they putting in place there that makes, you know, the environment safe?
Now, Jan, what's your advice to parents who are about to send their kids back to kindy?
Stay positive, use positive wordings, and work with the school. You know, I mean, it's a fight against COVID-19. So parents and schools should not quarrel. Let's say about school fees. You know, the schools have done their best to make it safe for the kids to come back. You know, don't haggle about school fees. You know, work together to fight the COVID. That's my message.
Another question: what can parents do to sort of prepare the kids to go back to school now that they've been at home for so long?
Mentally prepare them.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, you're going to meet your friends, you know, and work through the SOP. You know, practice at home. You know, if parents are practicing at home, you know, it helps the schools a lot. it helps the schools a lot. 1 meter distance, you can make it into a game.
Okay.
Instead of saying like, oh, you have to keep 1 meter distance, otherwise, doom scenario. Or you can say, hey, let's keep a 1 meter distance and let's see what will happen then. So if you come too close, the alarm bell will go off. If you stay at the safe distance, it's a green light. For example, you can make it into a game.
Okay.
And
So
the
I'm
kids will
gonna
understand that.
put duct tape on the floor now, thermometer, sanitizer.
Actually, you also, in a way, you're teaching kids how to do math and measurements because now they actually know what 1 meter is as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's why we're also encouraging the kids, to wash hands, And even in our schools, we have lotions for the kids. Okay, I mean, the last few months we've been washing hands so much.
Yes.
I don't know about you, but I have cracks on my
Yeah, that's
skin.
true. Yes, yeah.
Even to that extent, we thought like how to prevent those cracks. So we put actually hand lotion in all the classrooms, so the kids can actually put lotion on their hands after washing their hands.
Well, I'm sure the parents listening to this interview will be assured that they can send their kids back to your school because you've thought about all these processes already.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thank you so much for speaking to us.
Great, thanks for inviting me.
All the best.